Let's talk about just general market sentiment and direction first, because we have seen Asian markets opening higher today. But this, of course, comes after what was a real wipeout for tech last week. So walk me through this. Are we looking at a dead cat bounce or a genuine stabilization here?
Yeah, personally, I've been short NASDAQ for whatever it's worth for the last 2 months. So I actually think that my bet is that the AI sell-off has yet to run its course. I think, the fundamental thesis is now being reassessed, which I think is a good thing. But more importantly is the fact that I think the technicals are starting to change. I mean, just think about this, just in the space of a week, we've had two major biggest, whatever investors in tech saying that they have liquidated their holdings of NVIDIA, starting with, the CEO of SoftBank and then Peter Thiel. And then we even have the news out of Saudi Arabia, for what it's worth, that the sovereign wealth fund have reduced its U.S. equity holdings to the lowest level in 2025. I think these are all strong indications that a lot of the bigger guys are moving to the sideline, which means that the little guys, the retail guys, are holding the candle. And I think, and I think that in that sense, I think that technically is changing very rapidly as we approach year end. And my view is that with Magnificent Seven now below its 50-day moving average, I think you've got Bitcoin below its 200-day moving average. I think there's a lot of pain out there. And then the risk is that people start to essentially cut out their positions, and the market goes down a little bit more between now and the Federal and then the FOMC meeting in December.
David, just take me inside your current market call here, because you've just said the AI sell-off is really only just beginning. So do you think we are seeing a structural unwind in the AI trade now? And if that is the case, how bad is this going to get?
I think, listen, I'm not saying that this is going to go down 50%, but I do think that, we've gone down about 10. I'd like to see another 10 before this thing's all over. I think, so far, the damage has been, on things like, Oracle and Meta, sort of some of the more peripheral players, if you can call them as such. We've seen very little damage, in the stocks in NVIDIA, whereas I think NVIDIA actually could very well be the next shoe to drop, especially as people start to focus on OpenAI. I think the big problem right here for the market is that OpenAI is seemingly running into trouble. But you have to remember, OpenAI has been the key driver of the rally of the last 2 months, because this company, little company of, whatever, $12 billion revenue, basically had promised to spend $1.4 trillion the next few years in CapEx, and that got the market very, very excited. But it is very clear that they are promising money that they haven't got. And the only way they can deliver that if their revenue is going through the roof. And then you probably saw the news late last week, there was a leak of an internal memo written by Sam Altman to the employees at OpenAI, spelling there's trouble ahead, especially with the release of Gemini 3.0. which universally has been, essentially reviewed as being better than ChatGPT 5.0. This is only after 3 months after the release of ChatGPT 3.0. So 5.0. My point here is this: the fundamental issue here is that this is a very competitive business. It's not clear how these companies are going to basically make money, not least of all OpenAI. If OpenAI struggles to make money, even by venturing into pornography, which is what Sam Altman is basically recommending, you know what? This is going to basically cause people to question about the whole entire business model and then the return on investment of this massive CapEx spending that the U.S. has been going through in the last 2 years.